What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, happy Friday morning, or at least for me, it is Friday morning. While I was having my morning coffee, the post for the new Chaos Legion reward cards, or the Soulbound reward cards, dropped, and so I figured we could go through this thing together. Now, I've already read it, so I'm not going to read this whole thing out to you, but I do want to focus in on quite a bit because there's a lot in it, and so let's just go ahead and dive right in. All right, so we already know that they are going to be soulbound. The number is actually 43. Now, we heard more than 40, but I think everybody just started throwing the number 40 around. So it's actually going to be 43 cards, which is really, really exciting. They talk about how the shift to soulbound is key to making the overall goal for the game more engaging for players, more encouraging for them to grow and focus on growing their accounts, yada, yada, yada. We've heard all that fun stuff before. I like this term, though. They said the fact that these reward cards will eventually become transferable means that players will be able to realize their value in the future, so this can be viewed as a kind of long-term NFT staking. Again, it's just semantics, but I like it, so we're gonna roll with it. Like you're staking your reward cards until they go out of print, whatever the case is. But they will have value at some point in the future. So for everybody who's worried about, oh, like I don't like soulbound reward cards, they're cutting down on the value that I can get from my account. No, it's just it's a delayed gratification, and I think that is going to be at least worth exploring. So I am very excited about these soulbound reward cards. If you haven't been able to tell already. Okay, so they are coming on Tuesday, January 31st. So we actually have a little bit more than a week, about a week and a half from this. So like I said, there's 2 maintenance windows, or 2 Tuesdays, I suppose, between now and the end of the month. Looks like it will be, excuse me, looks like it'll be right at the end of the month. And I believe it's going to be after the end of the current season that we are in. So as soon as they're in, they confirmed here that they will replace the old reward cards and new loot chests. So again, Aggie had mentioned that reward cards. Aggie had mentioned that during the town hall. The reward cards spiked in price, so this essentially confirms it. So there's no vote, there's no proposal, there doesn't need to be. All right, so let's be clear about that. This is a company policy. They can decide. The DAO does not have jurisdiction over this. So they are deciding that they're going to cancel the print rate, and that's what it is. So this means old reward cards will stop being minted, even if many of them are well under their initially planned print limit. Okay, so please note season reward earned from current season. Okay, so everything will start cleanly at the beginning of the new season. So the whatever end of season rewards you get will still be the old stuff. All right, so here's the thing. First and foremost, the option for players to use legendary and alchemy potions. Again, this was teased at the first town hall of the year, January 2nd. So we are getting confirmation now that you can use it, and it's going to be re-enabled. So I believe we were told by some OGs that this is something that they used to offer, but you'll be able to use your potions for that. Additionally, this is cool, legendary potions will also double the chances of receiving epic cards. So there's a double utility for using legendary potions now, because it'll increase or double the chances for both legendary and epic. And what that's going to do is remove or reduce the chances of common. So it's essentially going to decrease your chances of getting a common, increase your chances of getting an epic or legendary card, which is awesome. No changes will be made for pack opening. So cool. So this option, I want to make sure that we highlight this. This option will be enabled by default for all users once the new reward cards are released. You can disable it in the Splinterlands player account profile or in the settings page. So just be aware of that. If you don't want to be using your potions, then you need to go and take action. Otherwise, it'll automatically be, it's an automatic opt-in. You have to opt out if you don't want that. But I am excited about the fact that they are making potions a little more valuable at this point, and I think that we can actually see a significant DEC burn in the future from potions now that they have additional utility outside of just packs. The second change, though, this is really exciting. A single loot chest may now contain multiples of the same reward card. Okay, we were all calling for this because it's like, it's going to take forever to level up some of these cards if we're just getting single packs or single cards every day or every chest. So higher tier loot chests will not only have higher chances of getting a higher rarity and higher gold foil cards, but they will now also have a higher chance of getting multiple copies in their chest. So at the highest chest tier, years, it is possible to get multiple legendary or even gold foil cards in a single chest. Now, they go into some numbers below, but I don't remember seeing any numbers for like what the chances are for getting multiple in each. So I'll have to double check that. All right, so the percent chances of getting a card of rarity is shown on the table below. There was one thing that I wanted to call out here. Yeah, so it reduces the chances of getting a common. Alchemy Potions will also double the chances shown in the table below for each chest here, receiving a gold foil. Now, this is important. Please note that Legendary and Alchemy Potions will only be used when opening a loot chest that is randomly determined to contain reward cards. That's great, because you don't, let's say you get 10... well, here, perfect. This is let's say you get 9 reward chests, right? Well, according to this, no matter what league you're in, 9 reward chests means that 3 of them should contain a card, right? Statistically, what you don't want to be doing is spending potions on all 9 chests. You should only be spending on potions on the ones that actually have reward cards in them. So that's good. It's not going to waste any potions, and you don't need to, you don't need to like worry about, oh, does this one have a card? Does it not? I like the fact that they took that into account, and they're not just going to make us bleed potions from now on, which I think is great. So if we take a look at the table here, you can see legendary, like at bronze, it's very tiny. Legendary is like 16x. Oh, sorry, champion is 16x that. Diamond is 8x what you get in bronze for legendary. Gold foil chances also increase quite significantly. Interesting that rares stay the same throughout. So I guess all they're doing is they're just increasing epic and legendary and then reducing commons as we go up for the chest here. And then by league, you can see that they all stay relatively the same throughout from a reward card, merit, and SPS standpoint. So there's a 2/3 chance that you are going to get SPS or a reward card in your chest, no matter what league you're in. Obviously, the higher tiered chests will have potentially higher SPS in them, as is currently the case. There's also the 10% chance of getting merits across the board. So the only thing that is flexible or changes is the amount of potions that you get. And keep in mind, there's a multiplier on potions for the higher level, right? Or for the higher leagues, but the chances that you get a potion go down as you go higher in league, and the chances that you get a pack go up as you get higher in league. Now, there will be a point in time in which packs are no longer available, namely April 1st, the day after Chaos Agent burns or sells out. And right now that is set for March 31st, unless we get a massive wave of FOMO that sells us out before that. So I would assume that this 3%, even at the highest levels, is going to, this will all come back essentially to the potions. So at some point in April, maybe March or April 1st, I believe we'll probably see potions at 24% across the board. But again, that's a little bit further away. About 2.5 months away, to be specific. Okay, so as mentioned, this was an interesting note here. So we also intend for the cards to become unbound, meaning they will be able to be transferred, rented, burned, or sold once they stop being available in the loot chest by infusing them with DEC. So they have a 0 burn right now, which is great that we've been talking about that. Now, Nate mentioned this in the most recent town hall, but it looks like it's here in a post. Again, this is an estimation, right? They're saying that they expect it to last for roughly 1 to 2 years. A lot of people took issue with that, and I don't blame them, because it's like, well, if this is going to last for 2 years and Rebellion is going to come out in, I don't know, anywhere from 6 to 9 months from now, these Chaos Agent reward cards are going to be there for like all of Rebellion or most of Rebellion, right? So I unless there's like a massive amount of players that join the game in between now and then, 2 years is a long time. 1 year is cool. Even 1.5 years might work, but we'll see. We'll see what the print rate goes, and we'll see how the print rate is. And I don't think they even mentioned the print rate down below. So we will let's just keep going. But 1 to 2 years is the estimation, and that's what was used. So card stats and new abilities. Okay, we've already gone through a lot of the abilities. I don't want to dive into that too much, but the number of cards is broken down in this way. So you have 37 monster cards. We have 6 summoner cards, so 1 from each element except neutral. So Lux Vega still keeping her uniqueness there. There's going to be 12 legendary cards, 2 from each splinter, 1 dragon, 1 neutral, 7 epic cards, 12 rare cards, and 12 common cards. So this is exciting. I think we've already seen some sneak peeks if you've been on Discord for what these summoners will look like. Okay, just to go quickly through the abilities. The conscript ability means it's only for summoners. It means you'll be able to use a gladiator in battle in ranked play, right? If you use that summoner in a guild brawl, you will be able to use two gladiator cards. And then here's the only thing with the conscript. We additionally plan to add a conscript rule set, which means that if you have a conscript rule set and you use a conscript summoner in a guild brawl, you'll actually be able to use 3 different gladiator cards. So I don't know how often those planets or those stars will align where you'll be able to use all 3, but it is an option, and that could be exciting for when that actually pops up, because some of these gladiator cards can be quite OP. So I'll be curious to see some battles that are posted after the fact whenever that does happen. Okay, so the summoner cards are going to be 6 mana and also include a rarity, 6 mana, and include 1 lower value stat buff along with a new conscript ability. So summoner with a lower value stat buff or a debuff typically costs 3 mana. So think back to the rare ones for Rebellion or for Dice. Well, actually it's more like Rebellion, right? Sorry, not Rebellion, Untamed. So they're saying that the extra 3 mana to get the conscript ability kind of justifies the 6 mana. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't even know how I feel about it. 6 mana sounds cool. If you have powerful OP gladiator cards, I feel like they can come in really handy and turn the tide in some battles. So it's up to you if you want to choose to use those summoners. But I do wonder how powerful they will become, considering, you know, it's taking people a while to level up their gladiator cards. Okay, the martyr effect, the martyr ability. Now, the difference here, as opposed to what we've heard teased in the past, is that it will no longer be like the entire team. I think that's what the assumption was. What it's going to do is, if it dies in battle, it gives the players or characters that it's next to +1 in all stats. So essentially a bloodlust ability. So this ability will put increased importance on positioning, because if you put it on the first or last spot, then it's only affecting one of the players or one of the other monsters. So you're essentially nerfing that effect. And then also, if you want it to die first and then use like a resurrect is what they're talking about here, every time it dies, so if it keeps dying, it will keep giving +1 stats to all of the monsters that it is near. There is one interesting thing here, though. So they are talking about the bloodlust effect will be removed. So they're trying to make it similar to bloodlust, right? But I feel like they're going to give the dispel. We should put it that way. The dispel ability much more. Like right now, I don't really care about Dispel. It's nice, but I don't really use it. But this is going to nerf a lot of the Bloodlust things out there. So 2 modifications to the Bloodlust ability are going to be coming in that will also apply to the Martyr effect, because they wanted to have consistency. So the Bloodlust effect will be removed when a character is hit with the Dispel ability. Bloodlust effect will always give +1 speed, even in reverse speed rule set. So that is not the case right now. So I expect Grum Flameblade to actually go down in value. And actually, I wouldn't be surprised if, what's his name? Jared Scar goes down in value too, because even in the reverse speed rule set, like right now, the way that it is, it gives you -1 because it helps you, right, in a reverse speed rule set. But it seems like it's going to make it worse. I don't know. It's a little funky to me. But I guess that's what it is. Dispel, though, here's my question, and it's not answered in here. If you get hit with Dispel once, does that take away all the Bloodlust, or does that take away just the last level? So imagine like Grum has already killed like 3 people, and then he gets hit with Dispel. Will that take away all 3 levels, or just the last one and you still have the +2? You know what I mean? But I don't know. We'll see. I'm assuming it's going to take everything off right now. All right, and then the final ability, weapons training. Wow, we still went deep into this. There's nothing new here necessarily. All they did was give us the attack types that will be coming in. So the new set of Soulbound Reward cards is planned to have 6 cards with the new weapons training ability. 1 legendary from each element, not including neutral. So 2 of these will have a melee attack, 2 will have a range attack, 2 will have a magic attack. We don't know which is which yet or which splinter will have each of these, but they say we realize that the weapon's training ability is more or less powerful when paired with different attack types, and we've done our best to take that into account when designing these cards. So additionally, it is planned that each of the 7 epic rarity cards in the new set will have no attack, allowing them to pair well with the new weapons trainer cards. So finally, we note that the 2 abilities in particular that have been relatively underpowered, so I was just talking about this, are likely to be given new life. These are the Oppress and Dispel ability. So with weapons training, and this was teased in the Town Hall, but just a reminder, if the weapons training, so essentially what that does is it gives an attack type to the adjacent monster. So let's say you have, the example I like to use is Bakjira. Bakjira has no attack, but let's say you put a monster with weapons training next to him. Well, when that monster with weapons training is used and it's next to a monster that has no attack, then that monster essentially mimics that attack type. I believe that can be removed with Dispel, but also, let's say Bakjira is the example that I use, and then you use like Flying Squid or someone next to him. So there's, or behind him. So there's the, or Deep Lurker, one of my favorites. So now Bakjira is a melee attacker, but when you use a monster that has the Oppress ability, which is double attack to monsters that have no attack, these monsters, so Bakjira in that case, even though it is mimicking with the weapons training ability, is still considered a non-attack monster and would take double damage from Oppress. So I kind of like this because I don't ever really think about using Oppress or Dispel, but this is one of the ways in which I think the team is doing a good job of balancing the game overall and giving a little new life to some of these abilities. As for the Dispel ability, we want to note that it will remove both weapons training effect and the martyr effect, and also the bloodlust effect from characters hit with an attack from the character with Dispel, making it now a counter to 3 additional strong abilities. So that's what we got, man. There's exciting stuff here. We haven't seen any of the cards yet, although I wouldn't be surprised if we get them in the Mav server soon. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing people taking a look at that or posting screenshots or doing some games. So I will make sure that we dive into all of these, all of the splinters, all the cards, similar, excuse me, similar to how we did for Rift Watchers and Chaos Legion before that. But I'll go ahead and leave this video here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How are you feeling about this now? For people who are on the fence about Soulbound reward cards, has any of this changed your mind? For people who are hyped about Soulbound reward cards, has any of this changed your mind? Or are you, like me, super hyped for this and wishing that it was here, wishing that it was here already rather than at the end of the month? But it is just, what, roughly 10, 11 days away. So we can go ahead, wait it out. Make sure you collect as many and max out your previous reward cards before they go out of print. So that's all I have for you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.